Hello, beautiful people. Be most welcome to today's episode of COVID Around the World. This show is all about bringing real people from different backgrounds and different countries and ask them to share to you what are their views and perspectives about this pandemic. I'm VH, and here's our guest of today.
It was meant to be a secret, like to unveil at the last point that I'm the number one. I said, well, five, and they said like maximum two people. I was like, okay. Where are you from? I'm from Italy. And where do you live? Rick, you cannot come here. It's like really weird stuff is written there. I don't know.
Hey Hugo, here's where I live.
It is. We have the solution. So I think there is so much complexity, and it's almost a human nature to look for the simple solution.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the segment COVID Around the World. Today we have my good friend Matteo. He is the original carrier of the coronavirus from Italy to Portugal. Hello, Matteo. Tell us, you are Italian in Portugal. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how much are people using sprays to repel you?
Okay, who guess it was meant to be a secret, like to unveil at the last point that I'm the number one. But now that you said it, yes, I must admit that I actually created myself the coronavirus because I was sick of all these Portuguese people hugging me every time. Just because I'm Italian, that people love me so much, then they come and hug. So I said, like, you know what, I'm going to invent something that everybody needs to stay far from. I'm actually living here in Zurich, and I find it interesting how at the beginning, being connected to Italy, everything started earlier there, and I had my parents here visiting, so this, let's call it anxiety of coronavirus, was very present in my surrounding. And when I would travel to Zurich to shop something, it felt to me that nobody cares. Like nobody wear the mask and nobody would really keep in distance. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, why people don't really care? Of course, the numbers were kind of like positive. Here in Alentejo, there were by then no cases or something like that. But still, it was a bit weird. But nowadays, things changed. People really keep distance, and where I'm actually feeling like, okay, now I start to want to get a bit loose on this. I feel actually people keeping much more like the
So
rules.
how long did it take for Portugal or Zurich to catch up?
Well, to catch up compared to Italy, maybe 3 weeks. To catch up with, I think, maybe Lisbon, but I wasn't there, so I cannot really say for real, but I guess one week maybe. But things kind of like arrive later here. Everything is a bit slower in Alentejo. That's why also I love this place.
True. I can confirm that. So can you explain? We have viewers a little bit from everywhere in the world. Can you explain what are and were the governmental measures there in Portugal?
Well, I must say that I'm not informing myself too much on the rules, but I kind of like get to discover them by breaking them by mistake. The last time I was actually driving to the town next to buy some pieces for my van substitute, and then the police stopped me and said like, "How many are you there?" And it was me, my beloved, my son, my young son, and my parents. I said, well, five. And they said, like, maximum two people. I was like, okay. Where are you from? I'm from Italy. And where do you live? Rick, you cannot come here. You must go back to Rick. I was like, okay, since when? Since yesterday. Okay, good. I'm driving. Bye. So it was kind of a funny thing. And yeah, and also some at the supermarket. Well, there are two supermarkets in Rick. One is a Pingo Doce, it's a big chain, and there are like literally one. It used to be like one at a time or few at a time, and with really literally big distances in the queue. And I usually don't go there because I personally don't like to contribute to multinationals. So I go to the small supermarket. And there I was really surprised because the people at the, how to say, like, when you pay, that they are sitting there, they didn't have any masks. They had this alcohol, and every time they would touch something, they would disinfect themselves. But they didn't have any mask, any protection until maybe a week ago. Now, finally, a week ago, shows up some sort of protection, which made me feel good for them. Like, not that a mask will protect me because I have my own, but still.
Yes. So you say that you know the measures that the government applies by the other people, not through news or not through other means of communication.
Hey Hugo, here's where I live.
So I don't really have much of interaction with people. And when I go in town, as I said at the beginning, I had more restrictions myself, like wearing masks and disinfecting my hands every 2 minutes than anybody else. And so like just about this distance thing of traveling, I was not aware of it. But I tried different times to go to internet and try to search really like, okay, what are the rules that are now happening in Portugal? But I couldn't really find it. I don't know if my Google doesn't like Portuguese or Portuguese websites and just shows me up strange stuff, but it was really hard. While for Italy there is a clear list, you go to each website and it's written, and for Portugal I couldn't find it.
So you proactively try to find like the rules on how, the guidelines on how to behave, and you could not find that. Are you talking about governmental sites, like either like the shopping mall sites? Like when you say Italy has it, like for example, if you go to a website of a supermarket, do they have that as well?
I haven't been checking supermarkets website, more governmental website, like official website.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in Portugal you didn't find that.
Not in a clear way, no. Okay. A bit hidden somewhere, some informations, and somewhere not really updated.
Yeah. So what about your experience that you had in that little grocery store that before the lady didn't have the mask and now she has? Did you talk about that? Like, did she mention anything or?
Yeah.
Were there any comments? That's what I'm really looking for. Like,
I actually asked her, like, what about a mask? Would be good for you. Like, this was 3 weeks ago. And she didn't answer, as if, like, this is my interpretation, I don't know if it's true or not, but as if speaking would expose her somehow. So she would just look down and keep working. It was very weird, very awkward. But somehow it was like this.
Yeah. I'm imagining I totally understand what she might be thinking. Okay, and so you live in a very quiet place. You don't have so much interaction, but I would like to know if there were any changes to your daily life. I know you are stuck with your parents for longer because they couldn't fly back to Italy.
Indeed, yeah. They were planning to visit me for a couple of weeks, and they're now 2 months now passed since they arrived, because about every 2 weeks, sometimes even shorter, they cancel the flight and they say, like, do you want to book a new flight? And I'm going to the website and booking the first one available. And then after 2 weeks, we canceled flights. Do you want to book another one? So yesterday, I had a flight booked for the 18th of May, and it's been postponed to the 1st of June. So for a month more, they will be here at least. My mom is freaking out, of course. She's trying to figure it out, how could it work to come back, like if to take tickets to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt to Milan, and then from Milan to Turin. But then, like, the prices just skyrocket this way. So I just try to support her, like, hey, why don't you just enjoy being here in nature? In Italy, you'll be in an apartment. Doesn't make really much sense. But they have routines. They have their own routines. Like, we also had ours, and of course we needed to adapt it to include them. But I must say it's very beneficial for us and our family to have them because they kind of support us with our baby boy, and me and my partner can have some time just for me and her. So it's kind of a bless, I must say.
I understand. And what about in Italy? Have you been receiving a lot of news? How was this 3 weeks delay being in Portugal and having friends and families in Italy? Did you receive a lot of feedback from there? How was it?
Imagine that I have in Italy. I have, let's say, two worlds. I have the world of my friends, my current friends, my colleagues, my other facilitators of the work I do, and then I have my family and my old friends. And these two networks somehow they communicate in a very different way. Like uh, family and friends, they are more on the, let's say, on the fear side of thing. Like we have a group, WhatsApp group. Like I guess everybody have a family WhatsApp group, and I constantly receive updates. Like usually I don't check that group so much. So when it reached 100 little notification, then I scroll it up. And there are a bunch of news that they kind of like forward from I don't know where they got it, and some of them are a bit of a nonsense. Like really weird stuff is written there. I don't know, something like, I don't know, I remember one, something like, do not accept an SMS that comes from an Argentinian number, otherwise they wipe out all your phone. No, that's not possible. Anyway, so they have kind of like a very dramatic way of communicating and experiencing this. And for me, it's quite interesting to read, but I try not to get attached because otherwise I would constantly be like, and then the other side, which they are really trying to see, okay, what does it make sense? Okay, we want to respect the rules, but at the same time, we don't want to just dive into the fear and being like slaves of this common fear that now the corona is the worst thing ever, which maybe might actually not be. If you see on a global scale, it actually created some benefits. Like many people that usually would die because of pollution, air pollution, didn't die this year because we stopped actually polluting for a while. And this is just an example.
Yeah, there's a lot of good and bad, let's say. There's a lot of collateral things happening due to the not so much for due to the virus itself, but also due to the measures that were implemented.
In a way, like the best experience for me is to see my mother because she reads these things from the family and from other networks she's in, and I can see her moving, the direction moving a little bit accordingly to what she reads. And especially if she reads something that should come from a doctor, then she might go more in that side or more on the other side. And then, like now, the last thing she read was this cure about using the blood plasma. And then she was like, why they just don't use that? And it's like, wait, you see, like this is typical lack of information. Like it's not the plasma, it's just like, voila, it's a little pill. It's, you need to use a lot of it, and taking plasma from the blood is not a simple procedure. So it's possibly it's like a cure or a good way, but you cannot just be sold as the one, or here it is, we have the solution. So I think there is so much complexity, and it's almost a human nature to look for the simple solution. And this is what I think people are a bit like bombarded with people that says like, here's the solution. Well, not really. Let's see a bit in detail if it is or not. Or here's the conspiracy. Well, not really. Or here's the whatever. You know, you got it.
Yeah, I totally understand. So you work online, right? So as far as I understand, you have a platform that supports a community. I don't I don't know how to call it. Maybe you can call it better. But my question is, has it been any impact because the what you do, your platform engages people in physical contact. So can you tell us a little bit more of your experience, like in terms of a business? How was it affected?
Sure. Well, my own work is actually double-sided. On one side, as you said, I work to empower people also online and to build this platform and so on. But on the other side, the work that I love the most is actually the work of being with people and being physical with people. Like you said, um, what I do is called play fight, and we we use the connection, the strength, the fight, the playful fight to work innerly. And of course, with the restriction that we have, the social distancing that we have, forget about having a play fight. So I needed to postpone different events of mine. Like I had one coming actually right now. I should have been in Switzerland. A week before, I should have been in France, and a week after, I should have been in Romania offering events. But none of that is happening. I decided to postpone them all to the summer, hoping that the situation would be better. So yeah, my job changed quite a lot, and we are adapting. And not even myself, like it came from the facilitators from Italy that had this need even earlier than me to to um, to create something that could support people online. So before we used to do play fight circles in presence, and now we do play fight circles online.
How are people reacting, and how is the engagement? Is it this? I mean, the same. It's not, but how close is it?
It's good engagement because people really need it. Need sharing circles that are dedicated to heart communication, where someone can really express the difficulties, be heard, and receive appreciation for their courage. This is what we do in a play fight, but we do it with our bodies. And in a virtual circle, we do it through our voice. Certainly, it's not the same. Certainly, the longing for physical connection remains.
So, in this example leads to my final question, which is us rediscovering some more than others. Like, for example, in your case, didn't apply much, but not only companies, workers, but individuals in all social roles that they have. We were kind of forced to think, how much do we need something, or how much are we valuable for X, Y, or Z, um, tra- transversal to all parts of society. It is something that with the globalization never had happened before. So I would love to think that we have now an amazing opportunity to have a civil society discussion on what is important to us and how we want to live. Um, I might be naive in these dreams that I have in these perfect worlds, but I would like to hear your opinion, because you're someone that is very connected to this kind of thoughts and this kind of personal discoveries. Am I being too naive? Is this opportunity or not?
I think yes to both questions. You probably are naive to hope that the real change will happen so easily, but I also think that it is the occasion to make that change starting. And I think what you said is actually hitting a really hot spot. Like how many things before we were like, oh my God, I need to have that, and now you don't have it, and actually you're living kind of better than before. So it's like, okay, what's going on? And I think I don't know. I'm seeing this with my neighbors, which actually is the brother of my beloved and the girlfriend, and she used to work a lot as a nail painter and esthetist, and she wasn't happy. Like she would work her ass off until 10 in the evening and arrive home tired. And these days that she needed to close, she could actually dedicate her garden, her farm herself. And I think this is really amazing. So I think this change is happening. I'm just afraid that on the higher spheres, the governments and politicians and who takes those bigger decisions, they are more concerned to make the machine starting again back to the rhythm of growth, economical booming and all that, just instead of really seeing the opportunity to actually slow down, actually defocus and orient our attention a little bit on more gentle and subtle things rather than having the economy growing back.
Did you ever have an experience of working with people from these higher spheres?
Not, unfortunately, not that much. Like I did some years ago when I used to work with social entrepreneurship in Europe, in Brussels, but nowadays not. But it would be interesting to bring play fight there between politicians and see how do they express their physical body.
I ask you this because I do have a perception with the sample is quite limited, but nevertheless, it is a perception that I got with working with some politicians in the past. Well, let's not call it politicians, but decision makers, opinion leaders. That I feel there's a detachment that they have from real life, from what is real for everyday common mortal. And that apparently that hurts us. If they would have more of a sense of how it is to lead a normal life, what the majority of people lead their lives, they will be more equipped to be better decision makers. And that's why I was curious to know your opinion about it. Okay, Matteo, thank you very much once again to participate with us.
My pleasure.
What about you? What are your opinions on the matter? Do you have any experience you would like to share with us? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like what you see, you could support me by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and help me becoming a full-time YouTuber by donating through the link in the video description. Thank you, and see you in the next video.